Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be talking about Jonathan Marshall's athleticism and breaking that down a little bit. But before we get started today, I just wanted to mention you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY, and if you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast wherever it is that you get your podcast episodes. Don't forget, you could also enter to win yourself a Zach Wilson jersey or a package from Manscaped. I'm giving away 2 of those when this channel reaches 10,000 subscribers. All you got to do to enter, subscribe to this channel, subscribe to the Just Jets Clips channel, and then comment done, and you will be entered, and I will randomly pick 3 people to win those 3 different things once this hits 10,000. Okay, so in the 6th round, Joe Douglas took a dart swing. And you're going to say, well, Matt, isn't that obvious? Most 6th round picks or late round picks in general are dart swings. But with Jonathan Marshall, that is very much the only phrase that I could think of when describing what this pick was. Because when you look at it on the surface, and I was guilty of this, when you see defensive tackle, it's hard not to sigh with the amount of assets the Jets have put into that position over the last decade. I know it's a different regime now and times are a little bit different. And yes, it's a 6th rounder. It was the last Jets pick of the day. So it's not like I'm going to go absolutely crazy over it. But when you see that position pop up on the screen, it's hard for your initial reaction not to be, But digging deeper, which I'm hoping that I'm going to do for you right now, I could maybe talk A, myself, and B, maybe you into the pick a little bit more. So he's a big dude. Obviously played defensive tackle in the SEC at Arkansas, 6'3", 310 pounds. But his athleticism is really what makes him stand out, and his athleticism is elite. So he ran a 4.81 40-yard dash. At that size is insane. A 32-inch vertical, nuts, 36 bench reps. This guy is like 99th percentile as a defensive tackle. They have these things called relative athletic scores, and it's out of 10. This guy scored a 9.99 out of 10. That is the second of 1,309 defensive tackles from 1987 to 2021 to rank that high. One more time, 999 out of 10, one of 2 out of 1,300 defensive tackles over the last, 33 years, 34 years? Insane, absolutely insane athleticism from this guy. And you see why a guy like Robert Saleh would probably want him on his team. So what did he do in 2020 at Arkansas? Well, he had 35 tackles, 6.5 of them were for a loss, only 1 sack, but that's a little bit misleading because he had 29 pressures in 10 games. So he was a better pass rusher than that 1 sack implies. You got to dig a little bit deeper there. But when he's coming into the Jets in 2021, he's going to be behind a ton of guys. Like, this defensive line is clearly the Jets' best positional group. I don't think it's really even all that close. And when you look on the interior specifically, Quinnen Williams, Folu Fatukasi, John Franklin Myers, there's so many guys who are going to be loaded up on the interior. Sheldon Rankins, almost forgot Sheldon Rankins. He's probably 5 or 6 deep down. So to me, I think this is a practice squad guy, someone who gets reps in the 3rd and 4th preseason game. Well, there's not 4 anymore. So in the last preseason game, the 3rd preseason game, he'll play a majority, but I don't expect to see him a ton in 2021. If you get anything out of him, great. That's just bonus. You're not expecting that. I mean, he's a 6th rounder to begin with, but this is definitely a developmental piece. And I understand taking a swing on an athletic freak. You can't necessarily teach athleticism. You can't, but you can teach football smarts. And you would hope that a guy like Robert Saleh and this coaching staff would be able to get a lot out of an athletic freak like him. Now, I'm not going to necessarily sit here and say that this guy's definitely panning out. He's going to be a stud defensive tackle in the NFL for a decade. Like, hold on, pump the brakes here. There's a very good chance that, maybe he bounces around a couple practice squads and that's it for his NFL career. But if you're going to take a risk on someone with pick, 207, something like that, again, in the 6th round, might as well be for someone with the athletic profile that he has than someone from a no-name school who's a little bit older in age. Not that Marshall isn't older. I think he's a 23-year-old prospect, but I understand the logic behind it now, where my initial gut reaction, if you go back to the draft, wasn't great. And this is probably my least favorite of the picks, but it doesn't mean that it was necessarily a bad pick by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not, again, a 6th round pick. I'm not going crazy for one way or the other. Just temper expectations. People are going to see these athletic scores and be like, oh my God, he's going to pop right away. Hold on, relax a little bit. Let's see what he does against some NFL competition. Maybe he'll play well against second and third stringers in the preseason and make some looks, but I don't expect him to have a regular role unless there's injuries, and you could always have depth in the NFL. So Jonathan Marshall brings that. They're strong at this position. This guy's a really good athlete and could be a potential developmental player to be behind Quinnen Williams for years to come. So for that, it's a little bit interesting. So we'll see what he gives the New York Jets. Again, late round pick. Don't want to get your expectations up too high, but it's not your prototypical run-stopping defensive tackle. No. This guy is going to get after it. He's going to use his elite level speed and his elite level opportunities, really, that he develops himself because of that athleticism. And he's going to make some plays. So we'll see. That's going to do it for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought about Jonathan Marshall. Were you surprised by that athleticism? We're kind of just making our way slowly a little bit deeper on these NFL draft prospects the Jets have. We still have a few more to get through along the way, along with some other NFL news over the next month or so. So I'm going to mix some more of these in. So let me know. Don't forget to enter the contest. Subscribe here. Subscribe to the Just Jets Clips channel. Comment done, and you're entered.